Kate reclined on the bed, her gaze fixed on the ceiling, a sheet draped over her partially, while a gentle smile adorned her lips. Contentment filled her when she longed to share this joy with the world. Though she cherished her husband deeply, she often withheld her emotions around him, mindful of his disapproval of excessive displays. Glancing at him, absorbed in contemplation of a painting on the opposite wall, she tenderly inquired about his thoughts. Caught off guard, Damien shrugged, his response absent-minded. Sensing his underlying unease, Kate drew nearer, resting her head on his chest, gently prodding him to share his thoughts. Slowly, Damien confessed, his voice laden with concern, "I believe we need a larger apartment." Kate, taken aback, met his gaze, bewildered. They had broached this topic a year prior, with Damien firmly against it, content with their current abode. Perplexed by his sudden change of heart, she tentatively hinted at their discussions about starting a family, though she knew he wasn't yet ready. "Do you truly mean it, Damien? Are you serious?" she asked, hope mingling with uncertainty. Damien merely shrugged, acknowledging the necessity prompted by impending changes, but urging her to refrain from talk of children until they secured a new living space. Kate, understanding his reservations, nestled against him, peppering him with affectionate kisses, assuring him she wouldn't broach the subject. As Damien smiled faintly, Kate's excitement bubbled beneath the surface, restrained only by his deliberate control. Though she longed to express her elation freely, he maintained his grip, relishing his sense of importance in her life. Planting a gentle kiss on her forehead, he suggested they sleep, promising to discuss their plans in detail over the weekend. Kate, though slightly disappointed by the delay, acquiesced, though she couldn't help but wonder if Damien's postponement was intentional, a tactic to assert his dominance. But Kate didn't harbor any resentment towards Damien for his controlled demeanor. Her affection for him overshadowed such trivial matters. His love for her remained paramount. Their bond had weathered years of trials. Emerging unscathed, they were inseparable, their connection unwavering. When Damien drifted off to sleep, Kate's gaze lingered on the painting, evoking memories of their journey together. Though it felt like an eternity since they first met, it had only been a few short years. They were introduced when Kate had just graduated high school, while Damien had completed university. To her, he exuded maturity, a man with a job, while she was a wide-eyed dreamer. Damien became her Prince Charming, showering her with dinners, drives in his car, and lavish gifts. His reserved nature prompted Kate to temper her emotions, but she admired him deeply. Falling deeply in love after a year of courtship, Damien proposed, presenting her with an extravagant diamond ring and a chic dinner, leaving her friends envious of her catch. Their wedding was modest, reflecting Damien's frugality, but they embarked on a delightful European honeymoon. Kate felt fortunate not only to marry for love but also to secure a promising future. Pooling their resources, they purchased an apartment, with Kate's parents contributing to her share and Damien utilizing his grandmother's inheritance. Kate found a fulfilling job after college, her income nearly matching Damien's. Though they contemplated starting a family, Damien insisted they weren't ready, emphasizing the immense responsibility. Tragedy struck when Kate's parents passed away. Her mother succumbed to cancer after a grueling battle, followed by her father's sudden death from a heart attack. Overwhelmed by grief, Kate struggled to cope, their deaths leaving a void in her heart. Kate's grief was overwhelming, but Damien's unwavering support helped her navigate the immense loss of both her parents. Strengthened by adversity, their bond deepened, Damien becoming her sole pillar of support. With her parents gone, Damien became her family. Kate had a cousin, Donna, residing in another city. While they shared childhood memories, life had led them down separate paths. Despite maintaining a distant relationship, exchanging occasional greetings, their interactions remained limited. Upon selling the apartment inherited from her parents and depositing the proceeds, Kate envisioned a brighter future. With Damien's contribution, the sale of their current one-bedroom apartment could pave the way for a spacious 2- or even 4-bedroom dwelling, enabling them to start a family. The thought of motherhood filled Kate with joy, her gaze drifting to her abdomen, a smile gracing her lips. At 30, she felt the time was ripe for motherhood. When she drifted off to sleep, Kate's dreams turned eerie, haunted by visions of pleading children vanishing before her touch, followed by a suffocating darkness, though unsettling, the remnants of. The nightmare dissipated with the dawn, days passed, and Friday arrived. Kate's morning began with the discovery of a flat tire on her car, prompting her to hail a cab to work. Later, she planned to indulge Damien with his favorite cupcake from her favorite pastry shop. Deciding to walk after work, she relished the pleasant weather and her buoyant mood, resolved to discuss their future plans, including purchasing a new home. 20 minutes into her walk, Kate turned into a tranquil alleyway. Flanked by elegant houses, devoid of towering structures, she cherished this route for its serenity, envisioning owning one of these picturesque homes. With each step, the air felt purer, invigorating her spirits when she inhaled deeply, embracing the promise of the future. Kate's smile got bigger as she imagined selling their apartment and moving into a house with a nice yard for relaxing in on evenings and having nice talks. She saw spending endless hours roaming around the property with their infant in tow, while Damien constructed a sandbox and playground for their child's infinite amusement. Lost in these reveries, she stopped in front of a stately but ostensibly empty house, its old attractiveness unfading. Kate glanced along the empty street, sensing the suspicion her lingering could inspire, and then resumed her walk. When they came to a traffic-free crossroads, she was struck by how peaceful the neighborhood was and confirmed that it would be a good place for them to live. She smiled thoughtfully and crossed the street. The silence was broken by the sound of brakes screeching, and she became terrified as time slowed to a crawl. Kate was initially confused and only realized she was in danger minutes before a bright yellow automobile sped toward her. She saw the driver, a woman with fiery red hair, her eyes wide with fear. At the instant before impact, Kate had an overpowering sense of fear and despair as consciousness faded, a precursor to what she believed to be her impending death. Everything turned dark. The next several seconds passed in a haze, like though darkness had descended upon the planet. Even in the face of such overpowering gloom, something had to be done. There was no room for apathy. She heard her husband's voice, but it was far away, like it was coming through cotton balls. She was overcome with a wave of illness that made it intolerable to even consider opening her eyelids. She was lonely and wondered whether she should ask her husband to take his talk somewhere else, but she could not bring herself to say it. "I've informed you, there's nothing more to be done, you must accept that," a voice interjected, devoid of tolerance for dissent. Kate furrowed her brow in confusion, failing to place the unfamiliar voice. Was she unwell? Had her husband summoned a doctor? Pain racked her body, sapping her strength, leaving her incapable of even lifting her eyelids. What was unfolding? A faint memory surfaced, a collision at a crosswalk, a fleeting recollection. It felt recent, though time eluded her grasp. Darkness persisted even as she strained to open her eyes. What calamity had befallen her? Had the lights failed? "Damien, what's happening? Why is it so dark?" she murmured, her voice barely audible in the silence that followed. Panic tinged her words, a growing sense of dread tightening its grip. Calm reassurance emanated from Damien's touch as he held her hand, his voice a soothing balm amid the chaos. "You've been in an accident, dear," he explained gently. Kate's heart sank, the weight of Damien's words settling heavily upon her. "Temporary blindness," he assured her, a reassurance that offered little solace in the face of her mounting fear. With each passing moment, panic threatened to consume her, driving her to desperation. "We'll find the best doctors," Damien promised, his words a beacon of hope in the darkness. "You'll see again, everything will return to normal." However, Kate couldn't shake the suffocating grip of terror. Clutching the sheets, she struggled to orient herself, her world reduced to a void of uncertainty. She must be put under sedation. "Hold her hand." "I'll do it," Damien said, throwing his arms around his wife when she struggled with her unexpected illness. Kate was overcome with weakness, but she persisted in fighting, her cries resonating across the sterile hospital room. Her strength was diminishing with every second that went by, and she was almost unconscious amid the confusion. The sound of the doctor's voice brought comfort. "I'm shocked. She will recover. There's always a strong initial response. She'll get over this. When there are no other options, everyone finds a way to get by," the steady voice said. Thoughts of questions flooded Kate's head as consciousness came and went. How is this possible to occur? How could she lose her sight in a single blow? The dread and terror in Damien's voice reflected her own concerns. Damien was at Kate's side when she woke up, the sedative's haze still present. She calmly asked for an update on the circumstances. "In 2 weeks," he disclosed. 2 weeks following the mishap. She was shocked to learn this. She had thought it had happened just a few days before. The enigma surrounding the ordeal was made more complex by the lack of witnesses. How long she remained there, defenseless and unconscious on the road, was unknown. Miraculously, her injuries were minor, bruises, a broken elbow, a cracked rib. However, the impact to her head had unforeseen consequences, a moderate concussion, robbing her of her vision. When Damien relayed the diagnosis, Kate clung to his hand, her attempts at composure a fragile facade. She knew Damien disliked emotional displays, and so she fought to maintain her calm, drawing strength from his unwavering presence. It was evident that Damien wouldn't tolerate tears or outbursts amidst her confusion. Occasionally, she'd tentatively open her eyes, only to be met with the stark reminder of her blindness, prompting her to hastily shut them again in search of inner calm. When Damien relayed the details, she mustered her strength, grappling with the uncertainty of what lay ahead. Damien informed her that she wouldn't remain hospitalized any longer. Her injuries, while not severe, no longer posed an immediate threat. A specialist was on his way, his examination and advice secured through Damien's efforts, offering a glimmer of hope for her sight's restoration. Kate clung to that hope, for without it, life seemed devoid of purpose. However, the professor's consultation proved far from reassuring. His verdict, delivered in her presence, shattered any illusions of optimism. Replacement of her damaged brain, the only potential solution, remained a realm beyond the reach of current medical advancements. The doctor's words cut deep, leaving Kate reeling in despair. His advice to accept her fate and adapt to a life without sight echoed in her mind, a harsh reality she struggled to reconcile. However, he offered a thread of encouragement amidst the bleak prognosis. Assurances that with time and support, she could adapt, even thrive, in her new reality. Though daunting, the prospect of a life without vision loomed before her, demanding acceptance and resilience. Damien's unwavering presence provided a lifeline amidst the turmoil, a reminder that she wasn't alone in this journey. With determination, Kate resolved to embrace the challenge ahead, seeking out resources and support to navigate her new reality. Though the road ahead was uncertain and fraught with obstacles, she clung to the belief that with perseverance and guidance, she could carve out a fulfilling life, even in darkness. As the doctor's bleak prognosis echoed in the room, extinguishing even the faintest glimmer of hope, Damien and Kate sat in silence, grappling with the weight of their shattered expectations. With the doctor's departure, Kate could no longer contain her emotions. Her tears flowed freely, a silent lament for the life she once knew. Her dreams, plans, and simple joys, all now obscured by the darkness that enveloped her. Blindness had robbed her of more than just her sight. It had stolen her independence, her ability to engage in the mundane tasks that once brought her comfort and fulfillment. No more cooking, no more work, no more shopping. Her world had shrunk immeasurably, leaving her adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The prospect of aging without ever seeing her own reflection, of relying on others to gauge the passage of time and the changes in her appearance, filled her with a profound sense of despair. Her home, once a sanctuary, now felt like a labyrinth, its familiar contours rendered unfamiliar in the absence of sight. In the days that followed her discharge from the hospital, Kate struggled to find her footing in this new reality. Damien's presence offered some solace, his decision to take time off work a testament to his unwavering support, despite the daunting challenges ahead. He chose to forego hiring specialists, mindful of the financial strain it would impose on them. Damien was the only one who could support them financially since Kate was unable to work and their funds had been completely wiped out by medical costs. Even yet, he remained unwavering in his resolve to meet Kate's continuous medical demands and care throughout this uncertain time. When they started this new chapter in their life, they clung to each other and faced the difficult road ahead. They navigated the darkness one step at a time. Thus, instead of asking for additional help from medical professionals, he decided to help Kate himself. Damien spent a week assisting Kate in adjusting to her new situation. He helped her find her way around their house, taught her how to recognize objects by touch, showed her how to use the bathroom and shower, and acquaint her with the layout of their home. During this period, he urged her to work toward becoming independent. Kate was also worried by a reoccurring dream she had had just prior to the accident, which involved children in a silent, dark room with a barred door. The dream left feelings of anxiety, bewilderment, resentment, and hopelessness. She saw the dream as a warning for her current circumstances. She wondered if, had she understood the dream right, she could have avoided the accident, but she couldn't be certain. Maybe this was her fate, unchangeable. Kate would cry every night to find consolation, and her husband would try to console her. But when his vacation days were coming to an end, he gently reminded her to stop crying because he could not comfort her forever. "I have to be at work on Monday, and your crying keeps me up at night. You never give me or yourself a break. This can't be how we go on. Why should we carry on? You're begging me to calm down, and I'm going crazy when I will never be the same. How can I find calmness? I just can't accept that." Kate sobbed in response when Damien carried on consoling her. After some time passed and several restless nights, Damien went back to work. He started taking naps in the living room. Kate told Damien she would stop crying, but she was terrified that their relationship would never be the same. He bought her some soothing drugs, which helped a little, and she even started sleeping through the night. They made love for the first time 3 months after the accident, which was uncommon for Kate because of the total darkness. She made an effort to see it as a straightforward power loss. She felt certain Damien was treating her differently even after their achievement. She made an effort to ignore these ideas, but it was difficult. Kate inquired of Damien one day about their intention to get a larger flat. "Kate, are you seriously insane? Why do we now require a larger space? A new house is a fresh area. You can hardly go around our existing flat. How will you navigate a strange place? There won't be a step you can take. You'll need a year to commit everything to memory, and I don't have that much time." Damien answered, "I'm trying to feed us while you're at home, but I have to work." Kate was practically choking on her own wrath at this response. "You say that, but why? Is it my fault that I experienced this? Am I choosing to be at home? You're telling me that even though I work 24 hours a day, I'm not accomplishing anything. Disgrace to you. I don't feel guilty because I didn't say anything disgusting. I gave the truth as it is. I was just laying out the facts. I didn't mean to offend you. Right now we are unable to afford a new house. We should be cautious with our savings since you never know what can happen. It's advantageous to have financial cushion. I wasn't trying to insult or upset you." Kate leaned back in her chair, clenching her fists in despair. It was impossible for her to look into her husband's eyes, read his gaze, feel what he was experiencing. She attempted, but failed, to recover her composure. She said softly, tears streaming down her face, "What about the baby? I mean, we wanted a child, right, in order to have space for the baby. We intended to purchase an apartment. However, is there any way we could fit a baby in this apartment? It hardly accommodates the two of us." There was silence after that. For the 100th time, Kate regretted not being able to see her husband's face. How could he have known? Did he look away from her or at her? "What? Have you lost both your sight and your mind? If you're blind, how can we even talk about having a child? I can't tell if you're making fun of me or laughing at me. It makes sense that you could be able to become a parent. However, what takes place next? How are you going to handle it, Kate? You're blind. Nothing is visible to you. You are powerless on your own. If you have forgotten, maybe you could feed the infant, but only with my help. You are unable to perform any further task. What comes next, then? Do I resign from my work to care for the child while you're happy that you've done your part? Why should I put my life on hold in order to care for my blind wife and small child? Kate, you really do need a psychiatrist. If you dare to consider having a child, you have a serious problem. Everything Kate had heard had surprised her. Damien threw those hurtful remarks at her with harshness and rage. Eventually, Kate heard the front door slam shut as he rushed out of the kitchen. He took off without even saying when he will be back. Kate wasn't too worried about it, though. At the time, she made an effort to digest what she had heard. Thus, her desire for a full family would never come true. She would never get to hold a child in her arms or become a mother. She felt like she had nothing left and was inconsolable. Clutching the dehydrated night mask she had covered her eyes with, she sat at the table. She had stopped crying and was lost in her own darkness. Not too long after, Damien came back. He walked over to sit down next to her. I'm sorry, Kate, I said things I shouldn't have and was far too harsh. I've changed my mind, and I want to, Kate interrupted him. I'm to blame. I made a stupid mistake. I've changed because of my blindness, but I promise not to act in this way again. I'll try to be more mature and to refrain from saying things that may annoy you. Since you're the one person I can trust, I don't want to dispute. The only person who really loves me is you. I wish to keep you close. You're right. Having a baby is a ridiculous idea. It is not possible to have a child. I concur with you completely. I swear not to say stupid things like that again. Please pardon me. Damien, who had been surprised at first, grinned and added, yes, sweetheart, that's exactly what I meant. Let's stop arguing now. These are hard times for us. Our relationship will suffer if we fight, and I don't want that. I cherish you. We must remain united because we will overcome this. The baby will simply make matters more difficult. We're not capable of handling him right now. It's good that you recognize this. It indicates that you still have common sense. Now, let's proceed. Are you hungry as well? I'll get something ready. Kate smiled. Holding back her emotions, she attempted to hang on despite Damien's emotional distancing, but it was getting harder and harder. It wasn't how she had anticipated they would work through the challenges together. There started to be miscommunication between her and her spouse. Kate was afraid it wouldn't work out, and she was right. They were more and more separated after that day. Kate was incapable of changing. She was even unable to go without assistance. Damien started staying late at work more often, or maybe he was somewhere else entirely, and his behavior also altered. Kate was unable to find out the truth. She requested Damien to show her how to use the phone because she was bored at home. Her husband gave it some thinking and got her a push-button phone. He showed her how to operate it and programmed all the required numbers. She insisted on calling her cousins, even though they had only spoken once since the disaster. When her cousin offered to help and she turned him down, having the phone helped Kate feel less alone because she could now call Damien whenever she wanted. She phoned Damien often while at work and carried her phone about on a lanyard. Damien took all of her calls at first, but he quickly began to get tired of being interrupted all the time. Are you not aware that you're causing me to become distracted? Did I purchase this phone for you only to have you constantly bug me, Kate? Please cut me off from your frequent calls, else I'll be ashamed to return home. I already feel that way sometimes, he would reply. Kate felt horrible for herself after hearing these remarks, but she stopped phoning her husband all the time and only spoke to him when it was urgent or when he was running late from work. Damien would answer her questions about his tardiness with an angry and irritated, "Why are you asking? It takes twice as much work from me. Your disability pension hardly covers it. I stay late at work since I'm compensated for the extra time. Please stop bothering me with your inquiries. You must see how challenging this is for me." Kate didn't ask any more questions after that. She was worried and wanted to call Damien after he had been gone for a week. She chose to seek out since she was nervous. It was remarkable how long it took him to answer the phone, and when he did, his voice was brimming with annoyance. He said, "Why are you calling? I wanted to know when you plan to return home. You've never gone out this late before. It's 10:00 p.m. Is everything in order?" Concerned, Kate inquired. "I'm not disturbed. You're just taking my attention. I would have called you if something had happened. I'm okay. I'll be back home at midnight." Damien shot back. At the sound of his voice, Kate nearly became quiet. Nevertheless, Damien did not immediately turn off the phone when the discussion finished, and Kate could clearly hear a lady say, "Has she called again? Come to me." Forget about her. Kate held her phone tightly in her push-button grip. Was her spouse with another woman? Was he not meant to be at work? Kate now knew exactly where Damien was. He'd probably been playing her for a while, spending his nights with someone else. Now that this woman had taken Kate's place, Damien was even unwilling to go back to his blind wife. It's possible that Damien was turned off by Kate and turned to a young, attractive female who took care of him and sympathized with him. Kate was eager for Damien to come home. She approached him with her doubts. As soon as he entered the building, all she was ready for was his icy lack of interest. "I do not comprehend. What's the issue you have with me? What's the matter with you?" Damien shot back, defensive. "You must be kidding. You're probably lying to me, and I have to suffer for it." "That woman, who was she? Your mate, your colleague? Tell me." Kate let out a loud exclamation. "That's what you're talking about. I see. Are you sure you wish to be fully informed? Okay, no problem. I have nothing to hide from you. I have nothing to be embarrassed about. Yes, I did spend some time dating someone else. Additionally, I think I need it at home. My wife is blind and unable to care for me, feed me, or show me affection in a typical way. Do you believe I can handle this easily? Even though I've put up with it for so long, it can't stand. I cannot give up my life to take care of you. Already, I'm tired of everything. I was not prepared for this by life. I want to see my lovely, well-groomed wife when I get home, unwind, and have a good meal. Not like this. When I get home, I have to take care of you, feed you, and assist with taking a shower. If only you could see how you've changed over time. Your hair is disheveled and gray, your eyebrows are untidy, you're pale, and you lack a manicure. It's just horrible. I don't feel like touching you. I have to see a woman who looks after me and revitalizes me after work because of this." An overwhelming wave of anger and wrath swept over Kate. "You have no right to mistreat and lie to me in this manner, much less bring it up so publicly. I refuse to let you harass me." Then Damien laughed, a sound so disagreeable Kate felt her skin crawl. "Are you going to throw me out or what? Feel free to give it a shot, but you will fail. I'm telling you now. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to live here doing whatever I want, and you can't stop me. This isn't just your place. You are who you are. Just a weak, dependent lady who is powerless without me. You are reliant upon me. Without my assistance, you are unable to leave this flat even. You are free to leave if you don't like it. I won't stop you. But, my love, how far will you go? And that's it. You're going to wait for me to get home from work at home. I'll drop by whenever I want. I'll take care of the cooking and cleaning, feed and bathe you, and style your messy hair. You'll thank me and smile in silence. Recognize. You will regret saying anything about being unhappy ever again. You'll be so lonely that you'll long for my company if I leave you alone for a few nights or if you only have dry rations for a week." "No," Kate said to herself. "What did you say?" Damien scowled, surprised that she would interrupt him. "I declined. You can't sleep with another woman. I promise I'm not going to live that way. I'm blind. So what? Do you hear me? I'm your wife. Or did you forget? I lost my sight in a tragic event. But I'm not changed. I just am not able to see. I need time and your help. But I'm doing everything I can to try to lighten your load. When you're not at home, how can you give that support? No, I won't put up with your adultery." Even with her gentle voice, Kate was tough. Damien gave her a confused look. That's how daring she is to speak to him. She had no significance. Oh, you're not happy then, okay, then, farewell, go. I won't try to stop you, and I won't stop you. Would you mind speaking up? Gather your belongings and depart, my sweetheart. The door is open. Kate froze for a brief moment. She uttered a soft, okay. After a little while, tomorrow, I won't be here. She moved cautiously from the kitchen into the bedroom. She was numb when she sat on the bed. She felt vulnerable in a way that words could never express. She was not even in the mood to cry, so there were none. All she wanted was to vanish from sight, to blend into the earth, to disappear completely, so that no one would ever know who she was. To what place would she go? Where could she go when she had stated she wouldn't be here tomorrow? Why did she say that if she didn't really leave the house, since she was unable to remain with him for the duration? Upon hearing Damien taking a shower, Kate immediately thought of someone who could assist her. She grabbed the phone that hung around her neck and held it firmly. She reached for the wrong button, dialed a number, and held the phone up to her ear. What if they didn't respond because they were asleep? A few seconds later, she heard a voice that seemed a little drowsy. Yes, I do pay attention. Hi there, Kate here. Donna, I apologize for calling so late. Kate, was there a recent incident? Is Damien involved in this somehow? Donna inquired. No, Damien is not flawed in any way. Donna, please assist me. I need assistance, but I'm not in danger. I apologize for not knowing who else to contact. No issue. What is happening? Anyhow I can. I'll be there for you. Tell me right now what you require. Would you please assist me in getting away? I had to get away from Damien right now. My only hope is in you. Once more, I apologize for the delayed call. Simply put, I'm lost. Is it urgent for me to come now? Or can I catch a train tomorrow morning and arrive by noon? All right, don't worry. I'm on vacation. You're not inconveniencing me. See you tomorrow. After hanging up, Kate sighed with relief, her hand resting over her racing heart. Everything would be okay. Donna would arrive tomorrow, and with Damien at work, they could pack in peace. She never desired to return here. She just needed her documents and bank card. She had a bank account with money from the sale of her parents' apartment. Financially, she was secure. Everything would be fine. After 10 minutes, Damien strode into the bedroom, snorting haughtily as if her words didn't matter. He compared her to a blind and helpless kitten and was certain that she couldn't even walk without him. I'm going to bed in the living room, he added. I'll give you a few days to calm down and get rid of those illusions about going. I'll treat you nicely again, and everything will be well once you accept that I have another woman and apologize for your actions. Good night. Damien then picked up his blanket and pillow and walked out. Kate did not answer as she silently listened to his speech. Her fists were clenched, the pain a reflection of her struggle. She made a commitment to never be treated this poorly by anyone again. She was blind, yes, but she was also capable of feeling hate, if needed. Sorting through her garments, Kate identified each item by touch. For the better part of the night, she packed all she intended to bring with her by 3 in the morning. They would gather the paperwork when Donna got there, and then Kate would leave the place that had once given her so much happiness, but that she now desperately wanted to get away from. Donna showed up at about 1 in the afternoon the following day. She gave her cousin a hug without inquiring as to what had happened. Donna found every document Kate had listed and assisted Kate in packing her suitcase. She packed everything in the luggage, organizing each item in a different folder. Do you think I should take all my jewelry, or would it be better to leave them for him? Kate questioned her after giving it some thought. I don't know what's happened to you yet. It doesn't seem like things are going well, Donna firmly said, scowling. However, you are free to take anything you want and no one will hold it against you, Kate told her cousin. Then take the jewelry box in the closet. With a sigh after packing, Donna gave Kate her sunglasses and assisted her in putting on her sneakers. After a little period of time standing in the corridor, Kate declared with conviction, we must go as quickly as possible. I had to leave this place, and with that, they were gone. After Donna called for a cab, they made their way to the train station. Donna bought 2 tickets to her city at the station in 2 hours. Their train was supposed to depart. Kate told the women her story while they were sitting at the station cafe. Donna found herself wiping tears from her eyes during the chat. She was determined to help her cousin since she felt so sorry for her. Considering all that she had gone through, Kate needed someone to help her get through this trying period and teach her survival skills in a society that doesn't always provide assistance and support to people with impairments, so she didn't regret coming. Donna made the decision to be that person right then and there. She was not going to live her entire life as Kate's devoted helper. Rather than that, she intended to educate Kate how to handle routine chores that were easy for a sighted person to complete. Their life together started with this. Donna's affluent ex-husband provided her with a 2-bedroom apartment. Their youthful love had led to their marriage, but it soon faded. After 3 years of marriage, they got divorced, and throughout the divorce, he gave her an apartment as payment for her not making any more claims. Fortunately, they were childless. Donna had 3 weeks of rest ahead of her. Her vacation had just begun. She started working with Kate the day after she got there. At first, Kate was taken aback. She had intended to take some time to lament her faded and tardy family life, but Donna wouldn't have it. If you expect to lie in bed from morning until evening, you're wrong, Donna said. Yes. I apologize that you are blind, but you must accept that either you will become stronger and live by the new standards, or you will simply become an old bitter puss who will curse everyone. I will no longer feel sorry for you, even though I felt bad for you. I have 3 weeks to teach you to be more or less on your own, and I demand that you pull yourself together and work hard, not lying on the bed all snotty, said Donna. Kate realized she was under her cousin's authority. Since Donna was giving her a place to stay, it was best to avoid upsetting or disappointing her. They both readied themselves to begin working. Kate had an odd dream the first night she was there, the same dream she experienced before the tragedy. Once again, she was confined in a dark chamber. She found the familiar door. When she staggered in the dark, she pulled on the doorknob, only to find it locked once more. Abruptly, she detected a rustle coming from downstairs. She knelt and felt her hands across the floor, feeling for a small key. Could this be the door's key? She got up, found the keyhole in the door, put the key in, and to her surprise, the door opened. She had to cover her eyes with her hand due to the intense brightness. The last thing she recalled before she passed out was a man with black hair and eyes reaching out to embrace her. The females started working the next morning. For many days, Donna showed her around the house from dawn to nightfall, only stopping for meals. Kate was worn out by the 3rd day's end. Still, she had managed to mentally map the whole house, down to the arrangement of each room and item in it. Kate was able to avoid running into walls since Donna had trained her to count her steps when navigating her environment. She demonstrated for her how to wash her hair, brush her teeth, use the hairdryer, and use the shower and toilet. Kate spent 3 days getting her bearings in the kitchen. Donna demonstrated to her how to fill the kettle, wash dishes, reheat food, and operate the microwave. Kate learned how to feed and clean herself on her own. Donna taught her techniques that Damien hadn't taught her in 2 weeks. Donna gave Kate the freedom to handle things on her own rather than assigning her responsibilities. She assisted Kate in realizing that she could entertain herself at home and that she was independent. Kate gained knowledge about dusting, floor cleaning, and vacuuming. She felt alive and creative, and this kept her busy. Donna saved the most challenging task for the final week when she shared her plan with her cousin. It was the first time Kate felt bold enough to disagree. No, I don't want to. It's out of the question. Do you want me to die of fright on the spot? No, I can't do that, she exclaimed, feeling powerless. But Kate, you understand that you can't continue like this forever, right? You have to get used to the idea that I won't always be around. You need to conquer your fear. You've seen how it's done in movies, haven't you? Donna calmly continued, trying to convince her. Movies have that. They're everything. appears to be so simple. However, this is really life. It's completely unrelated. Donna, I'm unable to. I just can't. Kate urged. If you haven't even tried, how can you possibly know? Try it out. Practice for a week, and let me know if you are unable to do it. I'm not asking for the impossible. I'm just asking that you give it a shot. What if you succeed? How about if you decide you like it all night? Donna tried to convince Kate, but she refused to listen. Donna was about to concede and accept defeat when Kate accepted out of the blue. All right, good, I'll make an effort, but swear to me, you won't force me to stop if, after a week, I tell you I don't want to. Donna cheerfully said, okay, yes, I promise, even though she was certain it wouldn't. When the two women went outdoors the following morning, Donna started teaching her cousin how to go outside by herself, because the yard was fenced in. Donna didn't worry that Kate would wander off and become lost. They walked together, morning through evening for several days, during which Kate learned how to calculate potential routes by counting steps from Donna's selected paths. She also picked up the skill of using the curbs as guides. It was exciting and difficult at the same time. Kate was able to locate multiple benches on her own by the end of the week after Donna showed her where they were, which was a great accomplishment. They had parted ways and wished each other a good night on Saturday when Kate turned to face her and said, I apologize for bothering you. I just wanted to let you know, Donna, that I'm not sure how to thank you. I will always be unable to express my gratitude for all that you have done for me. You are my savior, really. Thanks very much for your assistance in these past 3 weeks. You have revived me. I have so much more ability now. Even though they might not seem like much, they mean a lot to me. I really want to go outside more and more. I enjoy taking walks and taking in the fresh air. Please pardon me for ever questioning you. Donna burst into tears since her cousin's remarks were so genuine that it was hard to look away. She embraced Kate tenderly, whispering in her ear, we'll keep going. I'll teach you everything, and then I'll set you free to swim. Kate opted not to inquire about the meaning behind those words, deciding to leave that for later contemplation. 3 months elapsed. Kate ventured out alone each day. Though she never strayed too far, occasionally, she joined Donna in the evenings, who walked beside her without even holding her hand, occasionally offering guidance. Then, a significant mishap occurred. Descending the stairs for a stroll outside, Kate's foot collided with a pebble, sending her tumbling backward. The impact of her head meeting the pavement momentarily engulfed her vision in a blue flash. Before she lost consciousness, she awoke in the hospital. Familiar sense of disinfectant filling her senses. Someone clasped her hand, attempting to move her head. Panic gripped her as she feared paralysis. Refusing to accept this grim possibility, she questioned her condition, fearing the worst. Don't worry, everything is fine, Dr. Ben Connate comfortingly said, seeming to envelop himself in a warm mist. His words dispelled her concerns and left a reassuring impression on her skin. She could still move her limbs freely, but they had strapped her neck as a precaution. Kate was relieved that she was not paralyzed and thanked her for the second opportunity. Kate spoke shakily when she recalled, as I fell. I thought it was the end, terrifying beyond words. Dr. Connate turned to face Donna and asked, you mentioned she's completely blind, correct? His concern obvious. Unexpectedly, Kate spoke up, proving that she was blind. She shivered at the touch of Dr. Connate, wondering about her prior medical visits. All I recall are visits to various doctors who echoed the same grim prognosis, Kate recalled. They all said the same thing, that I'd never see again. With much emotion, Dr. Connate suggested doing additional tests and questioned the notion of lifelong blindness. He drew attention to the inconsistency in her account of seeing a blue light flash in the fall, indicating the possibility of vision restoration. Over the next month, Dr. Connate examined Kate's musculoskeletal and vision conditions. With her agreement, through a comprehensive battery of tests, Donna patiently guided her through this process, and a group of experts carefully reviewed her case. When Dr. Connate finally gave his opinion, Kate felt hopeful again. There's a very good chance we can get your vision back, he said, adding that her loss of vision was probably caused by a pinched nerve overwhelmed with emotion. Kate wept, finding solace in Dr. Connate's reassuring touch. His unwavering dedication and compassion gave her newfound strength. Despite initial hesitations, Kate eventually agreed to the surgery. In the days leading up to the operation, Dr. Connate guided her through the final preparations. Their discussions, imbued with a mix of hope and anticipation during their medical journey, they unexpectedly bonded. In addition to being a patient, Dr. Connate was drawn to Kate because she was a lively, vivacious woman. Though long-buried emotions sprang to the surface again, his major concern was still getting her sight back and allowing herself to enjoy life. They were there in his office, putting the finishing touches on the treatment that would change their lives. Dr. Connate stood up to lead Kate to the door. The day before she was scheduled to be admitted to the hospital, but Kate abruptly stopped and put her hand on his shoulder. "Can I do something I've always been curious about, something I've seen in movies?" she said. Although perplexed, Dr. Connate easily concurred. Kate brushed her fingers over his face with a loving interest, studying his features with nuanced accuracy. She shared her observations while grinning. She said, "Thank you." And Dr. Connate laughed. His statement, "I'm sure you'll get a good look at me soon," was laced with a hint of hope. 3 days later, Kate felt her nerves tighten when she was taken into the surgery room. Leaning in, Dr. Connate spoke something he had intended to say after surgery. "Would you have dinner with me once this is all over?" inquired the man. She couldn't guarantee anything until she saw him, so Kate giggled nervously. Remorse tore at her within the surgery room. Wanting she had answered differently, Kate woke up with an excruciating headache. With prompt attention from a nurse, she quickly felt better. She was weak and anxious from the anesthesia, and she was looking forward to the time when the bandage would come off of her eyes. But she was also afraid. At last, the time came. Kate's eyes were gently bandaged by the nurse, who encouraged her to open them slowly when the medical professionals gathered around her. Dr. Connate gave Kate some mild encouragement, and suddenly the world brightened again. Kate was shocked to realize that she could see again when her eyes fluttered open. She was incredibly emotional as she embraced the soft light. Even if it was a little painful, she squinted and blinked as she peered around, muttering to herself in shock, "My goodness, I can see." She was given a quick examination by a doctor who assured her that everything was fine, but her only thought was that she was no longer blind. Kate closed her eyes fearfully, only to feel a hand grab hers. It was Dr. Connate's touch, and Kate recognized it by the goosebumps it caused. She opened her eyes gradually and met the man's gaze who had come to her rescue. The same man who had reached out to her in the dark was the one she recognized from her nightmares, and her heart raced. "Dr. Connate said, "Hello," his grin bringing her comfort. With a smile of her own, Kate tightened her hold on his hand. With a quiet "hi," tears of happiness ran down her cheeks. "Fantastic. Nothing could be better. I experience a sense of renewal," she asked in jest. "So, when's dinner?" But Dr. Connate seemed to scowl. "There is more than enough time for that. I'm still waiting on you. I won't talk about it right now." After the surgery, a year had gone by, and Kate and Ben Connate had established a loving relationship. Even with her eyesight restored and her health improving, Kate's ceremonial marriage to Damien cast a pall over her contentment. After a year of Damien's absence, she made the decision to face their predicament. After over a year apart, Kate was feeling neither regret nor apprehension about returning to her hometown. She was happy and in love, which validated her decision to go. A wave of uneasiness passed over her as she got closer to the apartment complex where she used to reside with Damien. How may he respond to her becoming better? Would this make him happy or sad? That being said, her feelings stayed the same. Kate stopped for a while after giving the cabbie her money, and then she carefully ascended the stairs, her skin prickled with goosebumps as she stopped and stared at the cars parked in front of the driveway. Her gaze landed on a yellow Jaguar, and as soon as she recognized the vehicle, a pounding feeling went through her mind. She had glimpsed it before, yet a peculiar unease crept over her, as though a crucial piece was absent, a detail overlooked. Then, a sudden realization struck her. That was the very car that had collided with her on the desolate street. Unbelievable. Oh my God, was it truly that car? Kate's complexion paled, her palms clammy with sweat. She had hoped to leave her past behind, but instead, it seemed to be trailing her, retreating momentarily. Kate swiftly ascended the stairs, attempting to clear her mind. The mere thought of that woman being in proximity was unbearable. She needed to hasten to her and Damien's abode, resolve matters promptly, and then seek refuge with Ben. When Damien opened the door, he was taken aback. He hadn't anticipated finding his wife standing there. Kate regarded him and uttered, "Well, hello, my dear hubby." Surprised, Damien, how is it that your sight has returned? How is this possible? Damien was bewildered. Kate simply grinned. Anything is possible. You just didn't believe. Honestly, I didn't either until I encountered individuals who made me reconsider. They aided me, and voila. Now, are you going to let me into our apartment, or should I summon a lawyer? A lawyer? Why would you need a lawyer? Pushing past him, Kate entered the apartment. Instantly, she noticed signs of another woman's presence: shoes, cosmetics strewn in the hallway, a purse, perfume. A newcomer had evidently made herself at home. Damien hadn't wasted any time. Kate pondered whether this was the same woman he had betrayed her with or a fresh acquaintance. "I see you're thriving. Apologies for disrupting your serene life, but I've come to inform you, I'm filing for divorce," Kate declared. Damien's face drained of color, his gaze drifting towards the bedroom, fear flickering in his eyes. It dawned on Kate that his mistress was present. Well, she thought, it's time to meet her. "Honey, who's there? Is it the grocery delivery?" A voice echoed from the bedroom. Kate furrowed her brow. His mistress had a grating voice akin to a creaking floorboard. She raised an eyebrow and whispered to Damien, "Why haven't you introduced us? Does she know about me? Or have you lied to her, claiming I'm dead or that we've long been divorced?" Then, a woman emerged from the bedroom, petite and red-haired. Kate began to scrutinize her. She felt a flicker of recognition, a distant echo of familiarity, but the specifics eluded her. Studying the woman's face, she met with a defiant glare in response. "Who the hell are you? Clearly not a courier." The woman spat with a grating voice. "And you're clearly not the housekeeper," she said firmly. "You're Damien's mistress, and I'm his wife." She turned to face Damien. "You told me she was blind. Darling, Wendy, have you been lying to me?" "She was blind. I assure you, I have not lied to you. I swear, I can't believe." "What's happening?" Damien begged. Kate grinned when she watched Damien bow down before Wendy. They were meant to be together. "You don't belong here, and I'm not sure why you're here. I take it you're not married to Damien anymore. You parted ways with him, now that I'm in command." Wendy scoffed. Kate said, "No, even though this is only half of my property, I'm still the owner here." Unfazed, "Damien, I'm here to solve it. We're splitting this home in two, and I'm going to file for divorce. I believe I said everything I needed to." She turned to face the entrance and her eyes landed on a table by the corridor. A bright yellow key fob featuring a jaguar symbol was resting on it. Her spine tingled with goosebumps as the knowledge set in. "Is that your car in the driveway? The yellow Jaguar?" she questioned, turning to face Wendy. Wendy smiled and said, "That's right, you ask. But why? Do you feel jealous? It's a custom paint job, so you won't find another like it." Then it hit Kate like a thunderclap. This was a woman she knew. It was she that had hit her and driven away, the one who had caused her vision to be lost. "So, it was you that struck me." With a mix of bewilderment and rage in her voice, Kate said, "You're the one who left me unconscious on the road." Wendy's face flushed when she put her palm over her lips, and Damien looked from one of the two women to the other, clearly confused. "What's Wendy talking about? What is the meaning of all this? Did you strike her first?" With evident uncertainty, Damien begged. "I don't understand." Wendy shot back. "I never ran anyone over. This is all false." But Kate didn't waver. "You did it, though. That's when I saw you, your hair, and the window sticker. I can recall every detail. Now I recognize you, with your crimson hair. I will always remember that." You are abhorrent. In court, you will answer for everything, Kate said firmly. I'll make sure you pay for all my suffering. Wendy's mask came off and she started to exhibit signs of shaking, her cheeks flushed as red as her hair, her eyes bulging with panic. She did not know what to say. Kate angrily declared, "You'll pay for everything you've done, both of you," and stormed out of the flat. Kate stopped her relationship with Damien and went ahead with the divorce. She made the decision not to sue Wendy. Anyway, Damien begged her, offering to give up his legitimate share of the flat in exchange. Kate understood then how desperate Damien was to please his mistress. The fact that their breakup was due to Wendy didn't bother him. Kate was happy where she was at in life and didn't want to go back to the bad times. After her divorce, she had sole possession of the flat and had no idea where her ex-husband or the woman who had blinded her had gone. She priced the apartment sensibly for a speedy sale, determined to permanently banish them from her memories, and found a buyer right away. She returned to Ben right away with the money from the transaction. She had a smile on her face. The whole train ride, she intended to thank Donna with the money left over from the selling of her parents' apartment. Kate knew that Donna would say no, but she was determined to make it work. The money from selling the apartment she shared with Damien would stay in her bank account for the time being. Kate was excited to marry Ben and was looking forward to the birth of their child, which she was already expecting. Her smile expanded as she gave her belly a gentle pat. One by one, all of her aspirations were becoming reality, and this was only the start. Above is today's story. If you like it, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. See you next time.